I'm Aoife Patterson. I'm based in Glendalough and I'm a basket maker and willow sculptor. I started going down in 2004 down to Mayo to a guy called Joe Hogan with my dad actually, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. So I suppose that's where I started with basket making. So I suppose in terms of like I kind of make traditional baskets, but I like to make kind of contemporary stuff as well. But what I find I'm committed to, I suppose, is using traditional techniques to create contemporary work. We have traditional materials, they're sourced locally, they're sustainable, you know, you kind of go down that route. Generally, like the main structure is willow, and then you'll incorporate like birch and ash and oak and beech and different things, and it's usually stuff that we'll find. So I might go up the wood and I'll find something that's interesting, or my background being in archaeology, the heritage and the cultural aspect to basket making is really important to me. So it's got obviously a very, very long tradition in this country, but also kind of globally. So I suppose when you look at it as a craft, it's the oldest craft in the world. We've been making baskets long before we were making ceramic pots, or before we were making bronze, or before we were making steel, or any of those things. So we kind of start at a point where this is like a really, you know, fundamental craft that was really, really important for such a long time. Over the past number of years, it's just grown. So every year I've just kind of built it up. And so it kind of went from making baskets to kind of then applying that to other artwork and bigger sculptures, and kind of just growing it, you know, over the years. But I find I'm drawn all the time into making more commercial work, because that's what pays the bills, you know. And then when you do get the opportunity to work for yourself, to, you know, create work for an exhibition, or, you know, that kind of, you know, it kind of just, it's a totally different way of working. I equally enjoy making products, you know, and creating pieces of work for people. It's really interesting to see that process, to work with someone else and to see their concept kind of come to life. You go through lots of different kind of methods and techniques and stuff to build the baskets. Some of the methods and the weaves and stuff like that you use are just, they're amazing, you know, for what you can actually do without using, you know, like anything else, without using nails or screws or like glue or cable ties or anything. Once you have it, once you get the concept of the weave, it's like knitting, you know, it's a pattern. So once you're able to, if you're good at patterns, you're able to like follow the pattern and understand like even kind of how it works or why it works, then it's just a matter of repetition. I think over time I've discovered that you just need to slow it all down. So maybe that's my old age, my wisdom. Not that I'm getting old, but I'm just saying that I've slowed it down, and as you slow it down, you improve. When you finish a piece, I'm very critical of stuff. Yeah, really critical. But everyone is, I think, to a certain degree, and often you just have to put it to one side and say, no, I am happy with that. But that's how you improve, that's how you get better, that makes you want to learn more. And that's kind of where I come from with a lot of work that I do. We do a lot of teaching. From where our classes are generally from 10 until 5, and they'll go home with a small kind of skib generally, or maybe something a little bit bigger. But for them to see that it takes an entire day to make that is really interesting for them, and just, I suppose I like that they kind of see that the amount of work that goes into something, and just to try and, I suppose, kind of give some people an appreciation for the craft. When you're sitting down with the work, when you're doing basket making, I think probably because it's so repetitive, it's very meditative, you know, so you kind of do reflect a lot on your own thinking and your thoughts and your life. There's not that many people doing it, so it's just really important for people to, I suppose, share it. Well, I come from the place where I think it's important to share the information. If you don't share the information, then it doesn't get passed on.